Hey guys, I am finally here with my August wrap-up. I had some technical difficulties this month, which is why it's almost October and I'm just now getting my August wrap-up up. So first up in the month of August, I listened to an audiobook of F. Scott Fitzgerald's The Curious Case of Benjamin Button. I found this and several other of his short stories on iTunes for free as a podcast, and so I have been listening to those as I clean and other kind of activities. I've never seen the movie, so this audiobook kind of blew my mind in terms of creativity and imagination and how he came up with this concept, and it's just a really good idea, and it was pulled off very well, obviously, because it's F. Scott Fitzgerald. So I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. Nothing life-changing, but it's really good to have finally heard the short story that the movie is based off of, and now maybe I can finally watch the movie. Next up, I read Scarlet by Marissa Meyer, which is the sequel to Cinder that I read a while ago on this channel. I was not a fan of Cinder. It was way too predictable, and she just did not pull off the cyborg Cinderella concept as well as I hoped. However, against my better judgment, I picked up Cinder, and let me tell you, it blew my mind. It was so much better than the first one. I love Scarlet. I loved Wolf. I never get attached to the male love interest, but oh my god, Wolf was great. He's probably my favorite book boy ever right now. I love that it wasn't just Cinder and that it had Scarlet's chapters and Cinder's chapters and woven together. It made me like Cinder a lot more than I did, only getting little pieces of her storyline. It was just so good. So I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars, hoping that the next book in the series can go the full 5 stars. Then, I read my favorite book of the year so far, and that would be The Sea of Tranquility by Katia Millay. I loved this book. I tried for over a month to try to write a review for this, but it was so good and I couldn't figure out why it was so good. I couldn't put it into words, but it was just heartbreaking and funny and it was so good. I can't put this book into words. I am sorry. You're just gonna have to take my word for it and go out and read it, unless you're triggered by violence or by implied rape. It's implied throughout the book, but then you find out what happens, and it's complicated, but it's so good, and there's a mystery, and it's just... Go read this book, you guys! I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. Duh. Next, I read Wildthorn by Jane Eagland, which I have a review for, so you can click around here and take yourself to that if you want to hear my full thoughts on this book. It's historical fiction dealing with mental illness and sexuality, and just a really generally good book. So I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. I have been diving into some Bradbury lately, so of course I had to read Fahrenheit 451 by Ray Bradbury. It's a book about books, and it's an adult dystopian, which are all awesome things, and the prose was wonderful because it's Bradbury. I'm kicking myself for not reading this earlier because it was so good. I give it 5 out of 5 stars. I read The Intimates by Ralph Sazzone, and it's gonna get its own video review as soon as humanly possible. First of all, the reason why this book dropped into my hands is because I bought it for $1.10 on Amazon. It's a hardcover. It's brand new. This is a very structured story that deals with two best friends in their 20s and their love life and their careers and etc. I have a lot of things to say about this book, and you'll get to hear those as soon as my review goes up, which will be very soon. I gave this book 2.5 out of 5 stars. And then I read Scott Pilgrim vs. the World by Brian Lee O'Malley, which is the second in the Scott Pilgrim graphic novel series. And they're just fun. They're so much fun. I love them. This one got a 4 out of 5 stars from me because of all the flashbacks and stuff like that. It was a little confusing, but... And then I read City of Ashes by Cassandra Clare, which is the second of the Mortal Instruments series. What do I have to say about this one? It talked about Simon more, which was great. I liked that a lot. I like Simon more than anyone else in the book. It was so frustrating to read this book because everything contradicted itself and it was so poorly written. I'm not really into the Jason Clary thing. I ended up giving it a 2 out of 5 stars. Finally got around to reading A Wrinkle in Time by Madeleine L'Engle, and guys, I wish I would have read this when I was a child. It was such a good fantasy novel, fantasy sci-fi. It was written in such a fun, whimsy way, but it had so many morals and lessons kind of thrown in your face. There was a lot of Jesus, but that's okay. It wasn't trying to hide behind a talking lion or anything. It was very, this is a Christian book, telling you right now. But, it was so much fun. And I love the characters. They're highly unrealistic, but they were so much fun to read about. So I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars. And finally, I picked up a free Kindle book called Golden Blood by Melissa Pearl, and I was honestly really surprised. I thought it was gonna suck because it was a free book on Kindle, and normally those suck. But it was okay. Plot-wise, it was really good. It's about a family of time travelers who just travel with their blood, not by a time machine. And it has some romance. The romance was kind of lame, but it was okay. It wasn't terribly insta-love crazy, but it was okay. So I give this 3 out of 5 stars. It was a pretty decent free Kindle book. I don't think I'm going to be picking up the second one because I'm not sure I care about these characters that much to figure out why this girl is so special. She's so special. I don't really care. I started writing actual fuller reviews on Goodreads, so I will link those below. Please go check those out. They talk a lot more about what I thought of the books than in this video. You will be seeing me very soon because I have a lot of things I need to film, and because the September wrap-up is coming up pretty soon. So I will see you then. Thanks for watching. Bye!